It was just another quiet evening in Brandon, Mississippi, until a father stepped through the door and into his worst nightmare. At the center of it all, 14-year-old Carly Madison Gregg.
What's her name? Carly Gregg. Carly Gregg? Does she still have a gun on her? I took it from her. She ran.
Who was pointing that gun at you?
It was Carly.
The girl everyone thought they knew. Was Carly truly out of her mind? Or was she hiding something darker?
She took that friend and showed her dead mother laying on the floor. She says, I put 3 in my mom, and I got 3 more waiting for my stepdad when he gets home.
Stay till the end, because in this story, nothing is as it seems. It was Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, at 4:14 in the afternoon, when Heath Smiley got a message from his wife Ashley. Heath was still at work. He pulled into the driveway at 5:03 that evening, driving his blue pickup truck. To him, it felt like any other day, nothing unusual at all. But everything changed the moment he stepped inside. He never saw it coming. 1 second everything was fine. The next, he was shot in the neck, gasping for air. He fumbled for his phone and dialed 911.
Yeah, I got hit in the neck a little bit. Okay, so you grazed your neck? Yes, sir.
Heath was shot in the neck, and the one who pulled the trigger was his 14-year-old stepdaughter, Carly Madison Gregg.
What's her name? Carly Gregg. Carly Gregg? Does she still have a gun on her? I took it from her. She ran. You took it from her and she ran? Yes, sir.
What haunted him was those few seconds before the shot. She said something, but he couldn't make out the words.
She was screaming something at me I couldn't understand. I locked the door. She's outside. I don't know what's going on.
Help was already on the way. The dispatcher just needed to know which direction she ran, so officers could find her.
She ran into the backyard and went over a fence. Ran into the backyard and went over your fence.
The dispatcher now needed a description of her.
What is she wearing? T-shirt, gray shirt and some jeans. Gray shirt and jeans? About how tall is she? 5'2". About 5'2"? What color hair? Brownish. Brownish, just short hair.
And then, right in the middle of the call, Heath stepped into Carly's room. There, on the floor, was Ashley, his wife, dead.
She what? Her mom! She killed her mom? Yeah, that's what I'm screaming about. Where's the mom? Mom, when I do this, she doesn't kill me. Where's the mom?
When deputies got there, Heath was lying just outside the front door.
Can you tell me what your son's wearing? Hey, I need you to talk to me. What is your son wearing?
He was in jeans and a grayish t-shirt. She's got short brownish hair.
So, jeans, a gray t-shirt, short brown hair.
She ran into the backyard. I tried to follow her. She jumped the fence and ran.
A bullet had grazed his neck. He was very lucky.
It's okay, I think.
Does she still have the gun?
It's on the kitchen counter. I think there's one light round left in it. I opened the cylinder. I went in the back door. She tried to shoot me.
Through the pain and the chaos, he was still trying to understand what had just happened.
Hey, he's saying that she ran towards Magnolia Place.
Are you shot?
He's grazed, but he's 10-2. It went through his shirt.
He got me right there.
Magnolia Place, that gated subdivision.
She went over the side back towards my vehicle. She might have looked around this way.
Might look back, going back towards the pond right there.
Heath was still defending Carly. He told the deputies she didn't have a weapon, hoping she wouldn't get shot.
Hey, Hey, she does not have the firearm. The firearm is here at the house.
Now, the cops had to secure the crime scene.
She's laid in the floor with a towel.
After killing her, Carly covered Ashley's face with a towel. Down the hall, they stepped into Carly's room, where Ashley was. One of the officers moved toward the back door to check it.
She didn't go out the back door.
Is he the only one?
No, we got one. She's 7 in there. She's in there.
Okay.
Hey, the back door is locked. She did not go out the back door.
There were guns scattered all over the house.
Hey, y'all do be advised, there's several firearms in the house. But the one that he's saying was used is laying on the table, but that doesn't mean she's not armed.
Outside, medics were tending to Heath. That's when he mentioned her father to the officers.
She's my stepdaughter.
All right.
Her dad lives in Starkville, and we're having all kind of problems with him.
Okay.
Nobody could believe a 14-year-old girl had done this. Deputies searched the area with help from a Mississippi Highway Patrol helicopter. It didn't take long. They found Carly Madison Gregg hiding not far from the house.
Handcuffed. All right, sweetie. Look. Let me see him step out real quick for me. All right. Hey, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them around to the front of you, okay? I'm going to move the handcuffs around to the front of you. Okay. All right. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to swab your hands, okay?
Yeah.
Right. Now, well, I'll ask you a bunch of questions, but obviously you fired with a pistol, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, look. I need you to hold your hand out like this. I'm going to do your right hand first, okay? It's your right hand. Just like that.
What is this?
So GSR, it shows which hand did you shoot with?
Okay.
Which hand did you shoot with?
They ran a gunshot residue test on her, and it came back positive. But before they could put her back in the patrol car, Carly turned to the sheriff with a question.
All right.
Is my stepdad okay?
I don't know, baby. I can't talk to you about
Oh, he's here. I'm sorry.
this. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Roughly 30 minutes after the 911 call, she was arrested. Back at the house, Heath was transported to the hospital.
If I leave, it's going to take care of my dogs.
So we'll take care of that, okay?
Carly Gregg was charged with first-degree murder of her mother, Ashley, and attempted murder of her stepfather, Heath.
The gun that's used is right there on the counter in the kitchen.
During a full search of the house, detectives found several CCTV cameras outside the house. None of them covered the spot where the shooting happened, but the footage could still help them piece together what led to it, and maybe even why it happened at all. But then they found a CCTV camera stuffed inside the fridge. It looked like someone had hidden it there. The footage inside became top priority. Ashley Nicole Smiley lived with her husband Heath, their daughter Carly, and their 2 golden retrievers. The investigators also started talking to the school staff and the students. She taught math at Northwest Rankin High School, the same school Carly attended. They went to the school together and came home together. On Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, they pulled into the driveway at 3:55 p.m. It should have been just another quiet afternoon, but it wasn't. Carly seemed a little on edge that day. The question is, what made her so upset? When investigators spoke with students, they learned that earlier that day, Carly had gotten into a fight with a friend at school, and that friend ratted her out to Ashley. That's how Ashley found out Carly had been smoking. Carly felt betrayed. How could her friend do this to her?
Ladies and gentlemen, after the incident with Carly that morning, you'll hear that he gets in touch with another friend and he's like, hey, you got to keep her distracted so I can go tell Miss Smiley what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, this friend cared about Carly. He was like, I gotta intervene. I gotta tell her. I'm afraid of what's happening.
Coming back home, Ashley stormed into the house first and went straight into Carly's room.
At some point, Ashley finds what law enforcement believed to be the 4 boxes that contained the Testimony will be that we believe she carried them from Carly's room to her bedroom, went back to searching Carly's room.
It was just the two of them in the house. It felt like things were about to explode. This CCTV camera was mounted in the kitchen. Carly's room is at the right. She saw her mom going through her stuff. Then she walked into her parents' bedroom and spotted her pens. She knew her secret was out. She wasn't in there long, maybe 15 seconds. But when she came back out, she wasn't empty-handed. Whatever she had in her hand was just outside the camera's view, but you could see it. Carly was ready to face her mother. What you heard were 3 shots fired from the .357 Magnum. Right after the gunshots, Carly messaged Heath with Ashley's phone. The message read, "You almost home, honey?"
You almost home, honey.
Does that sound like something Ashley would typically say to you?
Not typically, but it wouldn't have been totally out of the realm. I think she would have phrased it slightly different, but I don't know.
Heath usually got home around 5. That meant Carly had about 45 minutes. Panicking, Carly sent several messages to her friends, begging them to come over right away. She said it was an emergency. At one point, her dog brushed past her and nearly knocked the gun she was hiding behind her back. Amid all the chaos, Carly's unstable side came through. She started to sing. In the next 45 minutes or so, she tried reaching out to 5 or 6 of her friends.
Some were FaceTime, some were text messages.
She was asking for help, but she didn't give them any details.
She was asking them all for help, trying to get them to come over to her house. She wouldn't tell them why. We believe that one of them's going to say he even offered to call 911, and she told him no.
Her friends didn't really know what was going on. They just knew Carly needed help.
That one of these friends did in fact come over to help Carly that day.
She just knew her friend was in trouble and felt she had to be there.
That when that friend arrived at Carly's house, that Carly walked to the front door, asked her, "Are you squeamish around dead bodies?"
The friend had no idea what to expect, but nothing could have prepared her for what Carly showed her next.
That then she took that friend and showed her her dead mother laying on the floor.
Her friend couldn't believe what she was seeing. That's when Carly admitted what she'd done.
She says, "I put 3 in my mom, and I got 3 more waiting for my stepdad when he gets home."
After that, Carly suggested her friend go wait in the backyard. Soon after, Carly took down the kitchen surveillance camera and hid it in the refrigerator.
That there was another camera in the house on March the 19th, 2024. That camera was in the kitchen, and that's the camera that Carly was hiding the gun out of sight of. And you'll hear that that camera was not in the kitchen when law enforcement got there, and it was not in the kitchen where it should have been when Heath Smiley got there. It wasn't until sometime later that that camera was discovered.
For this act, Carly was also slapped with the charge of tampering with evidence. Outdoor surveillance showed Heath pulling into the driveway at 5:03 p.m. with no idea what he was about to walk into. As soon as he stepped inside, Carly was ready for him. Just like her mom, Carly fired 3 rounds, but Heath somehow survived. Carly's friend hiding in the backyard heard 3 gunshots.
And she hears gunshots. And the next thing she sees is Carly coming out of the back door.
Carly fell to the ground, scrambled back up, and yelled at her friend to run. Carly's friend didn't know exactly what had happened inside, but she knew it was bad. Prosecutors were sure they had enough to charge Carly as an adult. She was facing first-degree murder, attempted murder, and tampering with evidence. The trial started on September 17th, 2024.
Out of her mind, scared. It was like she had seen a demon or something. She was terrified.
Heath thought there was an intruder in the house.
My first thought was there was an intruder somewhere and she thought she was after somebody else.
After being shot at, he searched the house, checking every room, thinking someone had broken in. Then he reached Carly's room, and there she was, Ashley, dead on the floor.
She was laying on her back and had her hands kind of across her, and a towel over her face.
Do you remember what color the towel was?
I do not.
There was no intruder in the house. It was Carly. Heath told the court that the gun Carly used was Ashley's. Ashley kept it on her side of the bed in case her ex Kevin ever showed up. Kevin Gregg was Ashley's first husband. She was only 25 when she got pregnant with their first child, Carly.
Before you and Ashley met, was she previously married?
She had been, yes ma'am.
And who was she married to?
It was Kevin Gregg.
But Kevin had his own demons.
Had Carly ever told you anything about Kevin Gregg using drugs?
Yes.
So he was a known drug user?
Yes ma'am.
It was hard, and eventually they drifted apart. Later, Ashley met Heath Smiley and fell in love again. Heath accepted Carly as his own. For a long time, things were good. Carly did well in school and never caused trouble, but then something changed. She'd started acting out, and it all came to a breaking point when she tried to sneak in her secret boyfriend in the house.
We were all sitting at the house and there was a knock at the door, and Ashley checked the doorbell camera and we didn't know who it was. Carly had talked to us about that and we knew who it was, we just didn't have a face to the name. And Carly saw who it was and didn't want to see him, so I went to the door and just said, "I'm sorry, I told him he must have the wrong house," and came back in and shut the door.
Ashley took Carly's phone away, hoping it will get things back on track, but it created more tension between them, leaving Ashley unsure of what was coming next. Carly told her mom the relationship was over, but that wasn't true.
I actually worked at the school and she told me she had still seen them, in the hall together, walking up and down the hall and things. And she talked to me about it and was like, she was okay with it and everything, as long as, it was okay and nothing harmful was coming of it for Carly.
Ashley and Heath figured Carly's behavior was just normal teenage rebellion. They didn't realize how much she was really dealing with. Carly had been in therapy for anxiety, but her struggles run deeper. Her biological father, Kevin Gregg, had battled drug addiction for years and had even let her drink beer when she was 12. Behind it all was a long history of loss and trauma that started when she was just a child. When Carly was 4, she lost her little sister. That loss changed her. By the time Carly was 6 or 7, she'd started hearing voices and having dark thoughts. It was one of the first signs of PTSD. As she grew older, depression followed.
Carly got in trouble for bringing a knife to school.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about what you know about that.
All I know is we had ordered some stuff off Amazon, and since she loved doing all the arts and crafts and stuff in her room all the time, making stuff, I showed her a Swiss Army knife I had found on Amazon like I had when I was young, and she decided on a color of one she wanted, and I ordered it for her, and she used it all the time in her room. And then all of a sudden one day we found out she had it at school in her pocket and somehow got in trouble with it.
Around the age of 11 or 12, Carly started cutting. That's what she used the knife for. She made small cuts on her thigh, not to end her life, but to cope with the pain she was feeling inside. It was her way of dealing with the overwhelming anxiety and depression she couldn't fully express. Olivia Lieber, a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, recalled her first meeting with Carly in January 2024. At that time, Carly completed a form indicating she didn't hear voices.
If you could read that for the ladies and gentlemen, what the question is and what Ms. Gregg's response was to that.
Have you ever heard things other people couldn't hear, such as voices? And she said no.
And what date was that was put in your system?
January 15th, 24.
2024.
Mm-hmm.
Lieber met with Carly for the last time on March 12th, just a week before the tragic shootings. During that last appointment with Lieber, Carly expressed feeling like a zombie, leading Lieber to adjust her medication. According to Lieber, Carly never reported hearing voices or having memory lapses during their sessions. Dr. Andrew Clark, a psychiatrist, testified that Carly had been facing a serious mental health crisis on the day of the shooting. The defense team urged the jury to find Carly not guilty by reason of insanity. Rebecca Kirk is a licensed counselor who had worked with Carly. She was called in as a witness. Carly said she was having trouble sleeping, getting angry easily, and dealing with disturbing thoughts, but Carly never reported any hallucinations. Dr. Andrew Clark explained that Carly didn't remember the shooting because her memory went blank during that moment. But when the prosecutor called a state psychiatrist, he argued that Carly did what she did simply because she wanted to.
When Carly on that day went and unlocked the phone, texted a specific target, her stepfather, who she told me was more of a father figure to her than Kevin was, and said, "When are you almost home, honey?" Using that honey is an enduring term. I might use it for my family, a loved one. I wouldn't use it for a stranger. When she did that to me, that was very specific and diabolical. And that to me is not consistent with a dissociative spell. That is not consistent with psychosis. That is not consistent with mania. And it's definitely not consistent with hypomania.
Experts testified that Carly was fit to stand trial and didn't meet the state's standard for insanity. It caught everyone's attention, especially since it went against what Dr. Andrew Clark had said earlier, that Carly couldn't remember shooting her mother. On Friday, September 20th, 2024, the jury deliberated for 2 hours before reaching their verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of attempted murder as charged in the indictment. Count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in the indictment. Please be seated, Ms. Gregg. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of attempted murder as charged in the indictment.
Carly Madison Gregg was sentenced to life in prison for killing Ashley and trying to kill Heath, plus 10 more years for tampering with evidence. The sentences would run at the same time. Carly was just 15 when she was sentenced to life without parole. If she ever got out, she'd be an old woman, well into her 70s. Carly Gregg was offered a plea deal, 40 years in prison for her mother's murder, with the other charges dropped. She turned it down, and instead, she chose to go with an insanity defense. After the verdict, her lawyers called the trial unfair and filed an appeal on September 26, 2024. Later, her attorney who took her case to the Mississippi Supreme Court. On September 9, 2025, they argued that the jury had been given confusing and legally flawed instructions about her insanity defense. Now, everything depends on what the state's highest court decides next, where every case leaves behind questions that justice alone can't answer. If you want to see more stories, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and stay curious, because the next case might be closer than you think.